Rose Duelist here with my 7th installment of my much anticipated series, Top 5 Decks of August 2015. This list, apart from the other lists, is probably the most entertaining list I have constructed so far. We're starting to see some type of power shift from the #1 spot and just all around the top 5. So this list makes it a lot more entertaining. And I can tell you that the #1 deck for the last 6 months is dethroned during this episode. So if you want to see what it's replaced with, sit back and relax, and we're going to start with number 5 right about now. Okay, so number 5 we have Kozmo. Kozmo, this is their debut at number 5, and I think it's a pretty good debut for now. Just because they are getting released in August, and they are a pretty good deck. They can OTK really fast. Farm Girl is incredible. When you deal damage to your opponent, you can search Good Witch, and then you can play Farm Girl's effect to banish itself to play the Good Witch. And say you have another the 2800 beater in your hand, you can go Farm Girl, attack 15, search Good Witch, attack 18, that's 3200, and then play Good Witch, play the 2800 beater, that is a whopping 6000 damage off of just Farm Girl, and it's just incredible. So I definitely look out for Kozmo. Another thing they do have over other decks is that Kozmo, they have a very good resource when it comes to Farm Girl being able to search everything, but very easily by doing damage. But then you also have the field spell, which is the main source of energy in the deck, which you get to add a banished Kozmo to your hand, and you almost always have a Kozmo banished. So that's almost like a +1 every turn, because you could keep adding the Kozmos to your hand. So with that involved, as well as the OTK potentials, this deck is a deck that I very well look out for, and I'm going to try to build, because I'm selling my Qliphorts right now because I'm not really into them, and this deck seems incredibly cool. Like Wizard of Oz in Space, literally take this to your locals, and some people will freak out, like the ones who aren't really intact with new sets. So number 5, debut Kozmo. Look out for them this month, because they will be coming at you like a Kozmo. Number 4, we have a deck that has been flopping around the chart for a while now. Satellarknight, this is their re-entry, number 4. I think they've been number 3, number 4, number 5. Never cracking the top 2, but that's fine. It's a deck that's going to always consistently be there, and I don't think it'll ever be hit to the point where it'll be unplayable. There'll be a point where the deck is not good enough to be like a top 5 deck. I think they're probably going to hit Deneb to 1, maybe hit Altair to 2 or 1, or Deneb to 2 or 1, and I think that'd be enough. Because all you really need to do is Boundless a Deneb, and there you go. So that's not what the point of this video is, but it's kind of getting annoying talking about the same decks every time, so I'm going to try to throw out new things every list. So Satellars, they still have a very good rank 4 source. With every set brings new Xyz, and usually more support for Satellars in general. So I think this list, combined with the new set, which I don't think there's direct support to it, but there are cards they can use, especially Cross Souls, and then some other cards we're getting. Satellarknights still pack a huge punch. Being able to go Altair, Deneb, Search, just top decking instant wins almost, just out of nowhere, and having an infinite resource of Deneb and Altair is just incredible. The deck is just always a good deck all around. Usually this will replace the deck that fell off the list of just being irrelevant, and that would be Shadal's in this case, and then Kozmo replacing Ritual Beast. So Satellars re-entering at number 4, they've been off and on. Number 3, a deck that has always been present, but hasn't had much presence. And by that, I don't mean like they're not there doing things, but I mean that Burning Abyss are always there, but they're not always winning things. People are always playing Burning Abyss, but you won't be having them being the #1 deck. The thing is now, Burning Abyss, they don't have the best Qliphort matchup, and that's why they're down to #3 from #2. Because Tower Turbo just completely annihilates Burning Abyss. They don't really have ways to stop it, or to get over the tower, which is really bad for them. So first turn tower is like really hard to get over. But Burning Abyss has always proven to be a really strong contender on the ban list. Sorry, not the ban list, what am I thinking? The top 5 list. But the deck is always very versatile. You have your rank 3 spam, you have your trap build, you have your E-Hero, Masked Hero, whatever build. So the deck is very versatile, and that's what it will kind of lead up to. I think the deck will be the 3rd most played, of course, but I don't know if it'll be winning events necessarily. So now we're going to go into the top 2, and this is when the video gets interesting. So the first time since March, since they were released actually, Necros have not fell from the #1 spot. They have claimed it for 6 months now, and I'm more than happy to announce that they have fell 1 spot to #2. This might change in future lists, maybe September, depending if we get a September ban list or not. But Necros have kind of just lost their popularity and spark, I guess you could say. I feel like Necros don't really have an edge over other decks. They're still a very powerful deck, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it doesn't have that edge like the Burning Abyss or Qliphort or Kozmo even do. I think the Dijin capabilities and Lava Chain capabilities are one of those edges that Necros have. I've said this before, that the Dijin hit didn't ruin them, but I will say that it did hurt them in some of their capabilities. I also think the Sure Hit to 1 will hurt them a lot, but it won't hurt them bad enough. Obviously, they're still the #2 deck, so don't worry. They are still present, but like Burning Abyss, their presence won't be as much. I think it's going to go down, and you won't see this being the #1 deck like you did the last 6 months. So yeah, Necros falling down 1 spot to #2 after being #1 for 6 months. That's half of a year. So let's see what #1 is. Of course, no introduction, Tower Turbo Qliphort. This deck is very annoying. The Trap Qliphort is also in here, but Tower Turbo is a deck that's kind of picking up its steam relatively soon, because of the new release of Wavering Eyes, where it can destroy 2 pendulums and you can search a pendulum. You get to spam your pendulums and then go for the tower and just wreck your opponent. Now decks are having to face the decision of how they're going to get over tower, and that impact alone is enough for me to say Qliphort deserve top 3 at least, or people are having to main deck ways to get out of tower. Just incredible. The deck is very helmet, I guess you could say, but it is kind of fun. Being able to just completely wreck your opponent with towers is just annoying, but for your opponent it's bad, but for you it's good. The deck is just way too strong, getting out 3,000 beaters that are unstoppable, unaffected by spells, traps, monster effects. It's just so good. I need to try to hurry this up because I want the video to be done in 10 minutes time. But I want to explain Qliphort because a lot of you probably don't understand why Qliphort is the #1 deck. I think it has a good matchup over everything. Tower is not bad against any deck. It's almost unstoppable to get around of almost every deck. It's extremely consistent. The only thing you're going to have trouble with is game 2 or 3 when they have Fairy Wind or something. But even then, you're still getting your pendulums and your pendulum extra deck. So this deck is definitely the #1 deck you have to look out for. It's coming. It's really hard. Towers are extremely hard to get around. So Qliphort's #1 +2 from last month. So this concludes this segment. I have no script, no opinions but mine during this top 5 segment. Only my own opinions. So please Show me that you appreciate my effort and give me a like, comment, and please subscribe. And make sure to have an amazing August 2015. See ya!